Okay, so with this face now that we are going to be adding, which we'll call part 2, we will remove some of these guidelines that we have there before, like the one running down the center of the face, where it was just to guide us as to how we go about putting the half and half, just dividing the face into half. So we remove some of these guidelines. We don't need them again, so we just use a good rubber that we have and erase these guidelines that we have as best as we can, just to remove them. We don't need them again. This one for the eye. So these we have done before. So this is the second part, or part 2 of our shading. So once we have done that, now, and that's one of the reasons as well that we keep these lines light, so that when we erase, it's not too much of a problem to actually erase them, because they are done lightly. Now I'm going to be using, you might not have a 3B or a 4B, but I would suggest that once you start your shading, use anywhere between 2, 3 and 4B to start the shading of the face. Now the face takes the shape of the skull that is there, as well as the muscles that you have on the face. So the first thing we are going to be looking at in doing now is we are going to be shading the eyes. We are going to be doing the shading of the eyes, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on the eyes, so that you can get a better view of how the shading is done. Now, in order to get it realistic, you will be surprised how well you can shade so that you get your eyes to look rather realistic. So here goes. Now there's this little part of the eye that is called the pupil, and that's the first part of the eye that we are going to attempt to shade, the pupil. It's a little circle, and it is done somewhat like this. Make sure it is in the center of the eye, a round little circle. Make sure it is in the center of the eye, and after you have done those two little circles, trying to make them about the same size, you are going to shade them in as dark as you possibly can, because they are actually like the holes leading to the back of the eye. So you shade those as dark as you can, trying to make them the same size, and they might not be, but as best as you can, just to make them the same size. Now after you have done that, you are going to make another circle. This one is to the left here of the eye, but it seems to go under the eyelid somewhat to the left. Another one over here, same. These two circles, what they represent is, they represent like highlights, like something is shining in the eye. So two little circles, one to the left here of the eye, and the other one over this side to the left, as best as you can. And they are close to where you have your pupil. They are close to where you have the pupil. If the sizes aren't the same, that's fine. Mine is not the same, so that's fine. It don't have to be exactly the same. So if they are not the same, that is fine. We can live with that. We're going to move on from there. The next thing we are going to do now, we are going to make darker right here with this, the iris, this part which is called the iris. We are going to just darken down at the bottom just a little bit more, as you see I'm doing. And you are trying, don't necessarily draw a line, just rub your pencil over the line that you had there before until it look like that. On the other one you are going to do the same. Just kind of rub your pencil over the area, not trying to draw a line per se, but you just almost like you're shading it, but you're moving over the line and it gets a little bit thicker. After you have done that, you are now going to shade this downwards like I'm doing here. Keep your shading, if you shade horizontal, keep the shading in that direction. So any direction in which you shade, try to keep your shading in that direction rather than shading all over the place. So if you shade down, keep it down. If you shade across, keep it across. But I'm shading here diagonally. That is kind of slant this way. That's how I shade. It works for me for the most part. So once you have done that, you would have noticed that the eye now begin to look like to take on some life. It starts to look as if you are actually, they are actually eyes and they are actually glowing. I'll go back over again this part here, which I want to be a little bit darker at the edge, just to make sure that it's a little bit darker. Alright, for persons who are of a lighter hue, you will see more clearly the pupils and that kind of thing. But if your eyes are like dark brown, it's going to be different. You are not going to be seeing the pupil as clearly because of the pigments that are in the eye. You will not see so clearly. Now one other thing I'm going to do again, I'm going to darken closer the iris to the eyelid. I'm going to darken that a little bit closer. I'm not going to carry the same dark around to here. I'm just going to darken closer to where the light is, and I'm going to fade it out. So I'm going to stop because I want here to be lighter. I want here on the light eyelid, just like the eyelid is crossing over, like it's covering the eye, so it's a little bit darker on the underside here. And then I leave here lighter. You notice that here is lighter. It is deliberate. You leave it lighter because it helps to give the eye that beautiful reflection as well that you want it to have. Now, reason being that when you watch these shows, they tell you, if you are looking in somebody's eye and you're not seeing your reflection, it's a ghost you are looking at. I don't know that ghost thing, but it kind of makes sense because everybody's eye is supposed to have that. Go again up on the here. It's a little bit darker up on the here, closer to the eyelid, and you just fade it out. Darker under the eyelid, and you fade it out. So under the eyelid, right here, it is darker, and then it's faded out. So keep that dark, and the eyes are going to come alive, and that's what you want. You don't want a dead eye. You don't want the eye to be totally flat, where you just blacken everything, or the eyes are going to be looking quite dead. So by the time you finish, your eyes now will start to look like they are really alive. Now the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to put on some eyelashes. Now for the women, what you are going to do, guys, to the extreme left or outside of the eyelid, we are just going to shade it like this, almost like just like we're widening it a little bit, bringing it down slightly below here, widening, and then we are going to twirl up. Your eyelashes are more to the sides here than to the center. So you have more, you just kind of widen this area, and you are going to widen just a little bit, coming around, rubbing your pencil nicely, not drawing a line. Remember, you're just kind of rubbing the pencil lightly, coming around. Here it is wider on this side. Over here is the same thing. It's wider. You just widen it more, going up, not coming down in the eye, please, but going up a little. You widen the side of it, which is supposed to be the eyelashes. So you don't really draw eyelashes and make them stick out and look like maca. Just kind of widen it, and then you twirl a little bit to get that shape. And please don't make it look like some eyelash or instead of put on nowadays. Alright, so we get the eyelashes here. So for this part right here, the eyelashes are really not much when it comes on to in the middle, except for those where they wear now. We're doing the real eyelashes, not the one that they wear now, please. So that one, when we reach here, it's just a little bit. That is right there. Shade just like that, a little bit darker, and you will get the eyelashes, and it will seem that you have some eyelashes. You don't have to overdo it. Please, just a little. You can put in a little more to the side. Notice it is more to the sides right there. Just a little. The ladies, some of them, oh Lord. Now after you have done that, we are going to move now to somewhere else. We are going to move towards the mouth. What we do when we draw, instead of being at one place, I love as an artist to move different places, because we are trying to build the foundation of the face, and it's like going different places to me is like a little bit better than staying one place and trying to finish the eye, finish the same place. We just move around until we build everything. So what we are going to do, right on the chin here, we are going to shade. Again, I move diagonally so that the chin is going to come forward. So I'm going to shade right on the chin here. By the way, I'm going to assume that my light is coming from which angle? I'm going to assume that my light is coming from here. Remember guys, you're not going to talk. My light is going to be coming from this source, and here for the most part this is where the light is going to be coming from. So under the chin here now, where thank you very much for that. We are moving towards the chin, so I'm going to zoom out. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm going to zoom out so we get back to where the chin is going to be. Thank you very much for that. And we can see the underside of the chin now. Take a refocus. Now under the chin, we are just going to shade a little bit darker than just to bring the chin out. So we are going to shade a little bit darker here, so that the chin now, and notice our shade again, keep your shading is in one direction, everybody. I shade diagonally, and this is a good way to shade, rather than across or straight down. So here we go. We just want to get the chin to pop. If your chin, you can make adjustment. You remember I was saying to the last class, you can make adjustment to your chin based on just looking at it, and you love one side more than the other. then you can adjust the side that you don't fancy that much, so that you can make the adjustment to your chin. I kind of like this chin. I'm going to keep it. So I get the under the neck just a little bit dark now, so that I'm seeing my chin. Now, the lips, I'm going to be moving onto the lips just a little bit now to shade the lips. Now, well, let me leave the lips because I need to show you something. I'm going to be shading around the eyes. I'm going to leave the lips. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to shade around the eyes like that. I'm going to come here with the shading. Try not at first to press too hard on your pencil, and try not to use a dark pencil. If it's a 6B or a 5, you will have a little trouble because it's going to get dark very quickly, and you don't really want that. So I'm shading, keeping, notice how I'm moving. I'm getting the contour of the face because of the shape of the face. Shading here inside of the corners of the eye. It's a little bit darker there, and then I shade down on the underside of the eye there. I'm going to come right here with it, following. It's a pattern that is always there because of the shape of the face. So it is something that is like going to be the same most times. It just depends on who it is. This is always going to be looking the same way in every instance where people are concerned. Using my easing up. If you have a pencil and it's getting too dark and it's like a 3B, switch to your 2B, so that it's not as dark. It doesn't get as dark as quickly. Right where we have we call it the ridge of the nose, you kind of stop. Leave the ridge there, and you are going to move over now to this other part, and you are going to shade, just like imitating what I'm doing. All you are doing is imitating what I'm doing. Of course, the video is going to be posted, so you can stop and move over and see where you were, and you can imitate what is there, because that's basically what it is. It's like if you were looking at a picture, you would be doing the same thing, trying to imitate. But this is a basic idea, note of what you would do if you were looking at a picture. Notice I'm not going to the side of the face with the shading. I'm staying slightly away from the extreme sides of the face. I'm going under the lip here now. I'm going to be darkening under the lips slightly, and I'm not making a line. I'm just rubbing the pencil smoothly over the area. Under the lip here is a little bit darker because the lip kind of hang over a little bit, so it's a little bit darker on the underneath. Then I'm coming around the chin here now. Yes, notice again, I am not going all the way down to the end of the side of the chin. Alright, coming around here, I'm not going all the way down to the end of the chin. Right here, I'm coming back here, and I carry this shading to the side of the nose. So this is like how it stays all the time for most people. Alright, for most people, that is how it is all the time. Coming on the chin. Chin is a little bit darker because the lip hangs over, so that is how it is. Now coming up here, we are going to do a little bit of that, just the same, following this, like the skeleton of the face. It's a little bit darker right here. So notice that's the pattern. So it's like a pattern that is there that we're trying to follow, a pattern that is there, and we're following it. This pattern is created mainly by the skull. Right here, what that would be the bottom eyelid. You remember the bottom eyelid? We are going to do darken. So we come underneath the bottom eyelid and we darken it, carry it around. This is the bottom eyelid, and it's a shade like this. Right here we have this one that comes this way softly, and then there's another one that comes further up this way, and you leave a little space right there. Don't cover up this little space that is there, notice. Alright, so we are moving now up. Right here we can just do like this, just a little indentation where the skull again is like you're just following the pattern of the skull. We shade right here, but we don't darken here, we kind of leave it, and then we move over slightly, forming the skull again that is here. The skull is right here. Now I'm going to show you right here. There is a shape that the forehead have. Some people that say they have big forehead, and how them forehead shape bigger, how the forehead. Well, right here again is the skull. So watch me now. I'm gonna shade here. Watch what I'm doing. This is this formation of the skull again. Right here. Some people, not everybody have the same, but it's generally well the same way, but generally that's how it is. Generally coming around here. Alright, so we're forming it out now, we're forming it out, it's coming out. So all of these are shapes that are general, and they are there. I'm going to remove this line here. I don't need it anymore. But what I am going to do is that I am going to create a little impression shade right here. Because this part here now, there's a little what I would call a little sink that goes on here, where it goes down. It's a little sink. So notice now we're not having any lines that is there. Here must be darker. So if it's clashing, you are going to make here a little bit darker, because that is how it is. Right here can be a little bit darker, so that it doesn't clash, right? The two of them don't clash. Here is going to be lighter, and moving on to where the eye is going to be, right? Coming around nice, coming down with this part, coming down so we can still make here a little bit darker. So in building the foundation, we go over areas and make them a little bit darker in order to bring out what we want from time to time. Alright, now coming down here again, where the mouth is now, watch this now. Right at the corner of the mouth, here, we are forming the top lip. Most time the top lip is a little bit darker than the bottom lip. If you notice, some people have some nice, what they call cherry lip and all these kind of things. So right here, this is the shape that it will take. You go down with this shape and come around. Watch. The only way you can get this, unless you're going to go back over the video and you watch that right here, but you're going to carry this shape right around the corner of the mouth here, and you're going to come on top here with it, with the shading. Now this is not a line, it's like a shading you're making. So don't draw it as a line. We're making a little shading coming around. Notice, nice, coming around the mouth corner, the side. So it's coming from down inside the mouth here, and then it's coming around the corner here. So now I'm going to stop here so I'm form something for you. You see right here, the nose is here. So you have this part, I don't know what to call it, but it's shaped like this that I'm doing now. You want to get this little shape. And you can play back the video and watch it. This little shape that is right here, two little shapes, some that is right here. I don't know what to call that shape, but it looks nice on people. Then right under the nose here is going to be darker a little bit because the nose hang over. The nose hang over, so it creates a little shadow because of the hanging over. And this shadow comes around and kind of form this. There's a muscle that is there too, so it kind of forms this area right here. So this is how it is. The shadow kind of a thing. Then right here, this forms the shape. In shading it, you form the shape. One that comes around from the mouth, coming over, it nearly look like a beard, but it's not a mustache. It's a nice tone. When you put it there, it starts to form the face. Your top lip is going to be a little bit darker than the bottom one. So let's put in the top lip. The top lip, watch me carefully now. I'm going to be darkening it a little bit, carrying it over, going on this side, darkening it. It's going to be darker than the bottom lip. I'm coming here, darkening it a little bit. This is the shape that it's taking. Just a little bit. Don't darken all at once, please. Don't darken all at once. Take your time and darken. Leaving the middle part here a little bit lighter. See this middle part, some people own different, but for now we're going to do this way for this one. Right here a little bit darker there. Coming around. Now the same thing that happens over on this side that you do is the same thing we are going to do over on this side of the mouth, only that this side will be a little bit lighter because of where the light is shining from. So we are coming over on this side and we're doing the same thing we do over here. So we come down a little bit, we're at the corner of the mouth, then we move it around. And this is a shading. Do not draw a line. Take your time and rub it as a shading, because if you draw a line, it will look like not really real, and it will kind of look funny. So just take your time and lightly rub the pencil. It's like when ladies are putting on the makeup and they have this brush that they're brushing on, and they brush it lightly. They brush the thing lightly. They don't draw any strong stroke, but lightly. So we go around doing that, and then we make the same shape over here, guys. We're making the same shape, coming around here with the shape. Don't do it too harsh. Remember, this side is going to be the side on which the light, the side which the light is coming from. Remembering that on the chin is a little bit darker than usual. Coming around to here, and it's like we join up back right here, so with the same shape. The neck over here, remembering as well that over on this side is going to be lighter. We can go back over it and make sure that this side is dark as well. So even if both sides look the same now, remember what we can do afterwards. We're going to move up to here, and remember underneath here is going to be dark. Just like this, over on this side where we darken the eyelid over here and carry it. We're coming over here and we are doing the same thing with it, darkening over here, carrying that on the eyelid, there, doing the darkening of the eyelid, yes, carrying that. Alright, now one thing that we did not do, I'm trying to find my sharpener. So from time to time you might want to sharpen your pencil to make it more effective. Alright, so one thing we didn't do, right here with how the eye is shaped, here it's a little bit darker, right here on the top of the lid, a little bit wider right here, but then it gets a little bit narrow coming around here. Right here it gets a little bit dark as well. So right here is like the top of the eyelid, Yes, the top of the eyelid gets a little bit dark and it comes around and come down like this. Alright, so right here, this is the shape that it has. There's a direct shape that is right here, that it stays this way. It's almost like this one comes straight down, but this one have a little bend and a little turn. Over here, it's the same thing, a little darker right there, wider right here, but as it come around to the eyes right here, it narrows and it gets wider in the corner here, but as it comes around there, it gets narrow. Depending on the light, again, you might find that sometimes it's slightly different. Alright, so here we are doing the same thing that we did right here in the corner here of the nose. We are going to do it over here. The same thing we are going to be doing over here. Notice I haven't changed from a shading diagonal. I'm doing the same shading diagonal over on this side, carrying it around. So we are doing the same thing over on this side. We want it to be darker because we want the nose ridge, as they call it, or bridge here, to look lighter. So we come with the shading and we carry it around, carry it come down here, so yes, right here, carry it around the nose here, so leave out this part, carrying it around, carrying it down slightly. Notice I'm still shading and I'm drawing a line. If you were doing cartoon, then you would do just draw a line, because that one is easy. We are doing this real now. This part of it, we are going to carry it down like this, and we are coming here, the jawline, carrying this way, coming up. This one comes across lightly. Don't make it too harsh, or as a person going to get suddenly old if you make it too harsh. Carrying it around, coming up. Now right here is dark like that, coming down to the side of the face. Yes, and here is going to be like that. So it's basically the same sort of thing that you did for over on the other side. Yeah, you are transferring the same shading over on this side, coming down like that. Yes, and we're coming down. Remember not to go to, we're not coming to the close to the end of the face with the shading. Let me make that clear. Right here, we are going to come like this with this one. So just watch the shape of the shading. While this one come like this one comes the same way. It is the same thing how we do the shading. So very importantly, you watch how we get some of these things. So if they are shapes, they form shapes. So right here in the mouth, it is darkened. So notice the shapes that we form with the shading. Here is the same thing. Here is going to be dark. It comes around the mouth corner here, so, and it gives us a little smile as well, a smirk, kind of a smile. Right here we are going to go like this because the lips continue here. It goes up with a little shape like that, but it's darker on the underside because the lip is hanging. Goes up with a little shape like that, but it's darker on the underside because the lips, bottom lip hang over. Alright, coming around now on the underneath here, we are going to make it a little bit darker because it is underneath and it goes around. So on the underneath here, we make it a little bit darker Getting it darker now. We're seeing what we are doing, and this thing is not looking too bad. Alright. Now we carry the same shape up here. We can leave where, so it doesn't matter if you stop where you are and follow me where I'm moving, because that is all we do. And here I'm going to carry the rest of the shape of the face. Is like, then you ever let's say a forehead round, like, yes. So right here is like a round. Your forehead round, like. So nothing is wrong with a round forehead, by the way. It's a beautiful thing. So here we go, right on the round forehead here, so coming around. So it's about the shape. So what you're doing is just mimicking, imitating the shape that sir is doing. And once you mimic or imitate that, you can do no wrong. Now we want to bring up this a little bit now more. So we are going to leave where we are there. So what we are going to do in order to bring this up a little bit more, we are going to try now to put on the eyelash. No, the eyebrow rather. So watch me now carefully. The eyebrow, it turns to the slant to the right over on the right hand side. It slants to the right. You can go on your pencil point this time and just behave as if you were actually creating some lines, but you don't actually want to make those lines too pointed or too harsh, too detailed per se. You don't want to make them too detailed. Towards the end of it, you turn even more to the right. So whilst these go straight up, these here when it reaches about this point, it starts to turn slightly downwards. And you want to go over on the and it's lighter to the end here, and make them like strands but not harsh strands. Over on the left side, you are going to do the same thing, but you are carrying them now to the left. To the left, to the left. Yes, you are carrying them to the left. And it doesn't matter how your own shape, because everybody wants ideal eyebrow to shape the same way, and if you don't mind sharp them, cut them off and draw them on. But keep your lines to the left, yes, as best as you can, and turn when they reach about this point here. You turn them and you try to carry now and make the darkness of the eyebrow about the same. So we're adding a little bit, making a little bit darker. So the eyebrow turn to the left here. Curve even a little bit more when it reaches there. And basically, of course, you'll have the video again to go and freeze and see what is happening. We are making this a little bit darker here. Nice. Alright, now we will leave that because we can come back to it again. We can come back to anything that we want to come back to, so everything is not casting. So the nostril, we are going to come down to the nostril here, and we are going to shade on the inside. Please do not blacken this to death, because it's the nose, and somebody said the nose is supposed to dark, and they just blacken it to death, because in some instances you are able to see a little bit inside the nose. So don't blacken it to death, but do it somewhat like this. If you notice and you can look, you still like see like you are seeing on the inside of mine. So don't darken it, you know. flatten it too much. So we do that, and that's the nose. Come around with the shadow here, and we can bring the shadow underneath this part of the nose here, just a little. Don't do it harsh, so just a little around here, the same, just a little, just to form the nose here, just a little. We are going to come back there somewhat. We are going to come back there, but just for now, just a little like that. We want to put on some of the ear now, because we're building and bringing up everything. We want to put on some ear. So what I do now, I resort to going to like my 6B, which is the darkest of my pencil, and depending on the shape of your hair, I think the ear that you have kind of curl around to the neck, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more, and I am going to do that amount of curling for you. I think yours curl around slightly to the neck, like this. So I'm going to do one ear where it curls around a little bit, and one where it is not curling around. So here I'm going to do this one. So we follow this now with strands of ear. So just like how the strands might be, we are going to use that kind of effect with strands of ear rather than doing it. So you don't want the ear to look flat. Coming up to the side of the face, you can draw a line down just to make sure, like you do a little parting of the face like this, just to make sure that the ear is out of the way, and the jaw is nice and smooth. You can do that at first, and then just turn your pencil so that you are getting this movement of the ear. We are coming down to the gravy. So here is where we are coming down now. We are coming down, moving this thing, getting the strands in. So while you are doing this, getting the ear, getting the side of the neck here, getting the side of the neck, so you kind of just rub slightly the pencil so that you get the side of the neck coming down. This thing is looking like how it's supposed to. Then you turn the ear. You want strands, and you keep doing that with the 6B. If you do it with the 2B, what is going to happen? The 2B, because it's not dark, it will not darken very quickly, so you might not get the same kind of effect. So here we go now, getting the dark in, and remember, the ear that you have is a wonderful ear. Don't let anybody, girls, tell you that your ear is bad. That is not true. It might be a little, because it's strong. That is why it puts up so much resistance. It's not bad. It's just strong ear. So you have some of them, they want to have other people ear, and they go and buy these wigs and all of that. I understand. But for this one now, we are having this ear looking like this, and you are showing in it the movement of the ear. We want to show in it the strands of ear and how the strands of ear look. Yes. So that's one of the things. We don't draw them in, we shade them in. So notice how I'm using my pencil. So I'm not drawing in one strand, I'm shading the ear in. And I'm going to move from there. I'm coming up here because I can come down back. So even if you are not finished with that, we are moving up here. We can come down back, and I'm shading this way at first, making sure all my strands are going to be. I'm carrying it to the side here, bringing it down, carrying it just a little bit over here, and I'm bringing it down in the direction of how I would want the ear the strands of ear to be, coming from here. So we're trying to create a feeling of how we want this thing to be or to part. Now some people after time might want to get a little bit creative with theirs and do other things. That's fine. After you have seen how this is done, you might want to do some of your own experimentation with how you want the ear to be. But for now, work with this one, and then afterwards you can create your own based on styles that you might see. That's fine. Here we are going to come this way for that one, and then on the opposite way we go this way for the other one, so we turn this way. If you think that your head might need a little bit more ear on the top or wherever, you can add, that's fine. Notice right here at the side there's a little sink, like a little sink right here, a little sink right here. Over here is the same, like there's a little sink right near to the corner of the eye where the ear meets, right here. So there's a little sink in, and it goes like that. Alright, so ear going back to the ear. I am going to make some of mine a little bit loose where it hangs in the forehead just a little bit to show. I don't want all neaty. And this pencil I'm using, of course, is a 6B. So that's, I'm combing the ear now. That's why artists, like I could do hairdressing, if you don't mind, sharp, because if you can draw and know where what goes, you might not, of course, have the finger part of it right, but at least you know what must happen. Now notice I don't have to put on the ponytail at the back, which I think I am going to leave out that ponytail part of it, so that you don't have to worry about that part. If you want to put it in yours, you can go ahead, but I am going to leave it out in this exercise here. Coming down right here. Coming down with this. Strands, getting my strands in. Darkening right here some more, just a little. I'm gonna darken right here. Every now and again, you can pause and step back and look at what you're doing. Okay, now I'm gonna pause the recording here for a while. So this video that we have here now, I was working on the ear, and here is working on, I'm using my 6B because the 6B gives a better way of toning with dark areas. So whereas I was using on the other side part of the face, I was using the 2B and 3B. This part with the ear, I am using my 6. Notice the direction in which now I am actually putting the hair. The strands run in a direction, the direction in which the strands of the ear it runs. You want to be mindful of that, noticing that I am moving the pencil in that direction. I am moving the pencil in that direction. Now I'm bearing in mind as well that my light source at all times, I'm bearing that. So what I'm going to be doing is on this side I'm going to shade a little bit darker to create that impression that the light is over on this side. But notice I am still shading in the direction in which I want the strands of the ear to appear or to be. I'm still moving in that direction. I want my hair here to be a little bit loose because I don't want it to seem flat. Normally what you would do is flatten the ear. I don't want it to appear to be flat. I want to see like there are strands of hair in some instance, right? So I am doing that. I'm going to move the ear up a little bit here from the ears. I want to show a continuation of the hair coming down like that. Nice. And I'm showing the strands. Notice again how I am moving my pencil, carrying the pencil here a little bit darker, closer to the chin here, and I am moving the pencil. I am not darkening the ear totally dark. I'm showing where I want strands. Notice how you can actually get that effect, showing the strands of hair so that it doesn't seem rather flat. Going back up to the hair here with my 6B, showing again strands of hair. Darkening this side of it, leaving here just a little bit lighter, showing where your light is coming from. I'm going to now add this little piece right here. Yours might be different, or if you want you can change what you have and make it this way. I'm going to the side of the face right here just to kind of make sure that here is different, and I'm coming now right here down with my strands of hair, coming down and giving this young lady a beautiful look. Notice how I style the pencil, how I turn the pencil when I curve it to get this kind of effect. Yes, here it's darker towards the side of the face, and I am getting all my little nice effect right there. Oh, she's gorgeous. She is a beautiful girl coming here. Coming up to the ears. Alright, we are almost through with this. Light is coming from here, so right here is a little bit darker, coming around to here. Yeah. And here is in the light. Right here is a little bit darker. Yeah. So we take how the light shines on the hair. Right here we cut down some of the Alright. Now, one of the things that we are going to do is we are going to now work on the ears. I'm using like my 3B, or you can use the 2B. Right here in the ears it's a little bit dark, so one of the things you can do is follow with your pencil. It's not a line that you're drawing per se. On the inside here of the ears, you're not drawing a line. Right here is where you would say the hole is in the ears, and you carry it around. Right down here is where we have the hole not going into the ears. Right here we can shade just a little bit dark, just a little, carry it to the side of the face. So we want to create a little difference. Coming up here, just notice you will follow just what you are seeing, so when you reach that part of your ears you will do the same. So all you're doing is trying to mimic or imitate what I am doing. Trying to mimic or imitate what I am doing. That's all. Mimic or imitate what I am doing. So if you have to stop the video where you are to reach back to where Sir is and then see what he's doing, then that is what you will do on yours. Alright, now on this side we do the same thing. Do not worry about if the ears, the both don't look the same way, because that is possible. Right here, so it's a shading and not a line. This is the inside of the ears where you have that is the part to form the hole. So we just kind of do it that way. Notice there, we want just putting on a little piece right here. Again, we do this the same way, bearing in mind that over on this side is going to be a little bit lighter than over on the other side, because over here is where we want our light to seem to be coming from. So at all times we will make over on this side a little bit lighter than over on the other side. Alright, now one of the things we are going to do now is that over on this side, guys, you will see in the video that over on this side, these things that we put over here, over on this side of the face, we are going to make it darker than over on this side. So we're going to darken just a little bit again this area here, just a little bit, because we want it to be that way to give the feeling that the light is coming from over on this side. Yes. Notice we don't carry the shading all the way to the side of the face here. In a little while, we are coming down to the final part of this video, and I want to dedicate this video on this drawing to my lovely wife. So this one here will actually help somewhat for you to learn how to draw the face in front view and to apply the shading to it. Right beside the nose here is always a little bit darker, coming around, always a little bit darker right beside the nose here. Here we are going to do this again, so it's always a little bit darker coming around here, Alright, so we're back to where the nose is now, and we want to actually give some more prominence to the nose. This line that is here, I'm going to try to remove this first, right here. So the nose now, it has some rather unique shape in terms of how you shade it. So you have to be careful with the nose just a little bit. So on here, I'm going to shade somewhat a little bit darker right here, down here. Yeah. Bring this around. So this is the nose lighter here. Carry this shadow around just a little like that. I want to use a bit more of the nose right there. Get off some of this right here. This a little bit smaller. So you can use just to take off a little part of that. Right, coming around here. I love this part of the nose over here. Hold on to the side of the face. The diagonal shading again is what I use. Of course, here, that line here, forming the nose, the nose bridge. So we're working on the nose here to form the nose bridge, as it were. Bring this down a little bit to form the nose bridge here. So we're darkening over this side because, as we said, we want to appear that the light is coming from over on that side. Coming up with a shadow here a bit. Nice. Coming over here. So we're coming down to the gravy part of this thing here now. Right here, just making it a little bit darker on this side. No, a little bit darker over on this side. Now that's the scene where we are, because we want it to appear that the light is coming from over on the right side. So I'm smothering or toning down some of the light that I have over on the side of the face, so as not to make it as bright as the light over on this side, to give the feeling that over on that side of the face it is lighter. Notice the movements, smothering the light over on this side of the face. So notice even on this side, on the underside here, the light is killing the toning down. Sometimes I use the word killing the light. And we are toning down the light over on this side of the face. Right here, we're going to make on the ear on the nose a little bit darker again, so we can put on the chin. a little bit darker. Now this side of the jaw look a little bit fat. I'm going to be clearing off just a little bit of it. We're cutting off some more of shadow underneath the chin here. We're putting some more of the shadow underneath the neck. One more, almost there. Almost there. Taking the ear, just so putting on some of these little things that are there. Making sure the ear, we don't want to look too put a loose part of the ear here. Alright, so here now we come here, and I'm going to be doing this side of the forehead a little bit darker. So it's here is where now we're trying to make some differentiation as to where the light is actually coming from. So I want to put in some area that will help to show that where my light is coming from some more. Alright, coming over the eye here, we have not really touched this so much. Here is where your eyelash is. We are gonna just come over here just a little bit more darkening. On the inside, just make on the inside here just a little bit darker. On the inside, it's coming around with this. Here, just a little bit on the inside. Here we can darken some more. So this is where we are putting on more of the detailing of the eye and detailing of the face rather. So here is where now we are coming down, putting on just a little bit more of your detailing of it here. I will put more shadows. So here, notice again, keeping your shading as diagonal as possible, coming up the side and nose again. Here is now just a little bit darker than elsewhere. Corner of the mouth here, I can tone down some of the right here as well, making sure that most of the light is over on the far side. Bearing in mind that my top lip is going to be a little bit darker, of course, than the bottom one. So we are coming down. So this is basically just making sure that the side of the face which the light is less on, and making sure that it is soft and the chin is a little darker. So this is actually drawing. I'm not using a reference, of course, to draw this. I'm drawing it all from memory. So it is supposed to be something where you actually, this is how what we call normally what a face would look like from the front view, and those areas you would actually put in where you find them, using the shape of the head to determine all of those other things. Alright, so yes. The bottom lip, of course, they want to keep the bottom lip a little bit lighter, and as I said before, the shadow that is there on the underside of the bottom lip will help to define it. So we're going to put in now a little bit of detailing in the bottom lip. Yes, a little bit of detailing in the bottom lip, and this is how we are going to work it. Bottom lip detailing, not much. Just keep it simple. Yeah, keeping it simple. Showing some amount of shadow here. Keeping it simple. I want to again come back down here just a little bit. Keeping it simple here. The shadow that comes over onto this can come up a little bit. So a little bit more smart in here. Top of the lip here. In the corner of the mouth here. So this is basically when you're coming towards the end of it, you're trying to put in just a little bit more detail in the work. So basically this is it. For this one. This for this one. So yes, students, so this is basically it for this one, I'll glance over some of these highlighted areas and kind of soften them so that it's not as harsh. The eyes, oh by the way, right here in the eyes there is a little thing that looks here like this, and on this side of the eyes, yes, it's in, and on this side the same thing. Over here, I should have carried this part of the shadowing like I did on the opposite side. Just seeing that to make sure that that is so. Yes. Right here is a little bit darker. This is the part that is sometimes not as easy. Nose bridge. Not as easy. Once you reach the part where you're doing the detailing, to make sure that you have everything that's supposed to be there. Alright. Okay, in here. On to the last part of it. Yes. So here we're keeping some of the light that is on this part. Detailing of it, and yes. So yes guys, so basically this is it that we are asking for, and we are here to a completion of this particular video, which will help you from like a step just doing the face in front view, and basically putting in after drawing some toning and some shading and that kind of thing. Basically we are not going to be putting on the top part of it as we had drawn at first, but this is basically the end of the video, which I'm going to be posting in a short while, so that you can actually get to do your front view, learning how to do the face in front view, and just having fun, you know, doing this face. Alright, and if you don't mind chopping and this is how this thing is, you constantly just want to keep doing and doing, because you can add and always add more to it. So I'm going to be stopping here now and just posting this video so you can get to do your work. Yes, I hope that it will help somewhat. in getting most of the questions that you would have wanted to ask in doing this one. So have fun with it. Yes.